Hey there, sports fans. It is Groundhog's Day, February 2nd. We got ourselves a basketball slate that looks just okay for me today, so I don't have a ton of picks like I had the last few days. But let's just jump right into it. First off, I like the Clippers. The Clippers are clicking, man. They are looking really good. I think they've won 27-5 lately, and they finally got their big three going. They're Harden, George, and Leonard trio finally clicking since getting together. They're 11.5 point favorites against Detroit. Detroit's not good. Everything points to a blowout in this game. But you know the NBA. I mean, last night the Boston Celtics sure seemed like they would beat the LeBron and AD-less Lakers, and they did not. So you never know, but I still like the Clippers today. All right, next up is my Warriors. Yes, I am a Warriors fan, and I think they are starting to click too. Not as well as the Clippers are, but they looked real good against the Sixers last time, and playing a lot of close games, and it seems like they're finally kind of getting their mojo back together. They're 8.5 point favorites against the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis just played last night, and they're 5-17 at home, which is pretty weird. But I like the I almost said my 49ers, but I still like the Warriors. Curry's clicking, Kuminga, Wiggins, Green coming back from suspension. Everything's looking better for the Warriors. I like them to blow them out as well, at least to win this game, so maybe put them on a money line ticket. All right, next up we got the Miami Heat versus the Washington Wizards, and I like the Heat in this one, 8.5 point favorites. They are on the road, but they're coming off a big win against Sacramento. So they finally broke that losing streak in a big way. And again, you know, Washington, not so good. So I like the Heat. They're 12-12 away, so they play 500 ball away. Washington 3-19 at home, so no home court advantage for them. So I'm going with the Heat. And another 8.5 point favorite. I actually got 4 8.5 point favorites in the NBA today. So next up is Minnesota versus Orlando. We get ourselves a nice 8.5 point spread, like I just said. The Timberwolves 18-4 at home, and they won by over 20 points in their last meeting against Orlando. I like Minnesota in this one. They play strong at home. All right, next up we got New Orleans Pelicans against San Antonio. 8.5 points. New Orleans looks good. They are 2-0 against the Spurs this year, and both of those wins were decisive, double-digit victories. So I'm going to take the Pelicans on that one. So you notice I have 5 pretty big favorites in the NBA. You know what you can do? Combine those 5 together. Just straight money line them. Don't even worry about the spread, and you're still going to come out with better than 2-1 odds. I think that's not a bad value because I see all of those teams winning. You know, those 8.5, 11.5 point favorites, it can be a little bit tough to cover those every single time, but I don't see any of them losing. But, you know, as NBA, anything can happen. So, you know, bring it down, do the money line, maybe even split the difference, 2.5, 3.5 points for all those 8.5 point favorites. Maybe you can do 3 levels of them. So the money line's a safe one, the alternate spread's a medium safe one, and then your Hail Mary with hitting all 5 of them with the spread. Just a thought. It's probably what I'm going to do tonight. All right, let's check in with Todd and see what he has got tonight.
Yo, hey, yo, it's Todd here. It's Friday. It's the 2nd of February. I got a 2-team parlay. I went 1 for 2 yesterday. Oh, yeah, that sucks. But today we're going to go 2 for 2 and win our parlay. So here's where we're going. Where we're going is 2-team parlay. Minnesota -8 in NBA, parlayed with Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets -12.5. Don't buy any points. They're going to win nicely. It's going to be a great day. Gamblers Hub, come on, subscribe and like, say something. Thanks.
Thanks, Todd. Sounds good to me. All right, next up we got Kent State 8.5 points again against Buffalo. They are on the road, but they actually have a positive point differential on the season, whereas Buffalo is just terrible. They've lost 7 in a row, and they lose by an average of 12 points a game. So you got that little buffer. Hey, you can add that one to your NBA parlays for the money line or the alternate spread if you're not feeling too comfortable about the 8.5 points, but they could still cover that anyway. All right, next up is Quinnipiac, Quinnipiac. Yep, the Bobcats. from the Q School. I do not know how to say their name, but they are 6.5-point favorites, and I like them because they beat Manhattan earlier in the season, 17 points. They've won 7 in a row. They are 16-4, and they are in first place in their division, even though I cannot pronounce their school's name. Maybe I'll have to watch the game so I can hear the announcer say it 100 times. I still like them to cover that 6.5 points because they are clearly the better team, and they have the chops against Manhattan from earlier this year, 17 points, even though it was at home. This time they're on the road. They still should be able to cover because they're the better team. All right, my last pick, we got ourselves the Smarties. We got the smart kids from the Ivy League at Columbia versus Harvard. Columbia is 6.5-point dogs, but they're pretty much the same team. I talked about this the other day, and it worked out well for us. So they're 6.5 points, but they're both 10-7. They're both 1-3 in the conference. Columbia is on the road, so that's the only reason I can see why they would be a 6.5-point underdog. So I'm going to take that 6.5 points and run with it and hope that they're so evenly matched that they play a close game. Who wins, who cares? But I think that they should be able to cover that 6.5 points and keep it close. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Tomorrow we got a huge slate of college basketball, so hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button so you can be notified when we post tomorrow.